What in the world am I cooking up now? Homemade seed tape. It's cheap, easy to make, and a time saver. Here's the ingredients you'll need: a roll of paper towels, Elmer's glue, tape, scissors, and a pen or pencil. And a yardstick or a straight edge is also helpful if you are making a long, straight seed tape. And of course, you need seeds. Carrots, onions, beets, all kinds of greens are all great options. Let's see, a bag or a Ziploc or a tote to store your seed tapes in is also a very good idea. Last year, because of our move in late May, I didn't get my carrots planted until the third week of June, which is pretty late, so I was not expecting much of a harvest, but they did okay, and we've enjoyed our garden carrots right out of the fridge until the middle of March. We love homegrown carrots. I don't, however, like thinning. I just don't like thinning seedlings or plants of any kind. It pains me to cull a plant that's trying to grow. I don't like to pull them or cut them with scissors. Either way is tedious, and I don't like thinning plants. So I make my own custom size seed tape, perfect for the bed I plan to use. Sometimes it's a long seed tape with 4 to 5 rows, and sometimes it's longer and only has 2 or 3 rows. And sometimes it's round to fit a pot or a barrel. And these seed tapes work beautifully for beets, bunching onions, and leafy greens. I've been doing this for years, and thinning plants is no longer necessary for me to grow large beets and carrots, and overcrowded greens are a thing of the past. I don't think they're ready, but oh my, look at that. That's a yellow one. That's a good looking carrot. Okay, last year's harvest was surprisingly good, but let's get back to this year and making that seed tape. It's very easy to do, and I probably just described it enough for you to figure it out on your own, but I'll show you what I do, and maybe it will save you a little bit of time. Okay, roll out the paper towel to the length that you want. A 4-foot length for a straight seed tape is pretty manageable for me, so I don't generally go any longer than 4 feet. I plan on using some round pots, so I'll also make the appropriate size circle, and we'll need to tape paper towels together. I find it very helpful to give myself guidelines to place the glue. Now, the guidelines do not need to be perfect, but it helps to ensure the appropriate spacing for the variety of vegetable you are growing. For the circles, I start in the center and make a snail towards the outside edge, but you do it any way you like.
Was it all just a dream, just all in my head? Floating rivers upstream, the things that you said.
Okay, now that the guideline is placed, I will put a dot of Elmer's glue along the row, keeping in mind the appropriate spacing for the vegetable I'm growing. And you'll also notice here that I don't put glue where the tape is. I don't know that it necessarily matters, but I don't put seeds on top of that Scotch tape. So I kind of avoid that tape. I don't put the glue on top of the tape. Okay, this is the way that I have found to be the easiest, especially when working with these very tiny seeds. But you should definitely play around and try what works best for you. I put the seeds on a paper plate and then dip the tip of the toothpick in some of the glue. This gives the toothpick just enough sticky to pick up a seed off of the plate. And then it's a matter of kind of smudging the seed onto the glue on the paper towel. The seed does not have to be buried in the glue. It just needs to touch the glue. But if it gets buried, it's not a problem. You can see that I don't take a lot of time positioning or centering the seed on the dot of glue. Just make sure it's touching the glue. And every now and again, I will put 2 seeds on a dot to compensate for germination rates. And if I have very old seeds, I will often use 2 seeds on each dot of glue. Also, when I made seed tapes last year, 90% of our stuff was still in boxes, and I had no idea where the glue was. So I made a glue with 1 part flour to 4 parts water. You cook it until it's thick and then let it cool, and it worked just great. Making the straight seed tape is done exactly the same way, using guidelines to ensure proper row spacing. For these 4-foot seed tapes, I glued 2 rows of carrots and 1 row of bunching onions. And the Survival Seeds 2025 Detroit Supreme non-GMO beet seeds from Rainbow Seeds are getting a seed tape. Write the variety on your seed tape and move it to a flat surface to dry. Please know the glue will seep through the paper towel, causing the seed tape to stick to whatever surface you laid it on to dry. So as I bring out new ones to dry, I lift and loosen the previously placed seed tapes because if they dry too hard, it's difficult to remove them without dislodging the seeds. It doesn't take them long to dry, so you only need to do this a few times. Once dry, store in a moisture-free area in a protective bag or tote. Seed tapes can be very expensive to buy, and being able to make custom-sized tapes with the variety of your choosing makes them even more valuable. So put on some good music and make some seed tape. Planting seed tapes is a breeze. You can plant multiple rows of carrots in no time at all. It's so easy and no thinning is needed. Ain't nobody got time for thinning. Thank you for joining me today. May you be blessed, stay grateful, and continue building a life you love.